Well, this is a little bit different for my channel. We're going to do an unboxing. This is an item that has been very kindly sent to me by a viewer from California, and it is a World War II item that was passed down in their family, and they have decided, again very kindly, to give it to me. So let's find out exactly what it is. Got the trusty knife. Right, let's have a look inside. What could it be? Right, so what's under the paper? Aha, something blue. Well, we'll have a look at this, we'll get this open, and we'll find out exactly what is inside in just a moment. Right, certainly well done up for safety reasons. Try not to slice my finger open or damage what is inside. Let's have a look on this side here. Aha! Well, what have we got here? Digging further in, we have an envelope. And inside we do indeed have a metal thing. Ah, now what's this? Ah, well, I can see immediately we have Reichsluftschutzbund, RLB. So this is the German air raid service. This sign dates from 1934. And what we're going to do, we'll take a bit of a dive into this and see exactly what it is, how it was used, and talk a little bit, I think, about the German air raid service. I have a few items in my own collection to do with German air raid precautions, so we'll take a look at some of those as well. Well, thank you very much for sending this. Very, very, very kind indeed.
So let's translate each part of the sign. So the word Entrümpelung means clearing out. So the clear out happened in 1934, and we have a graphic of a brush sweeping out clutter. Then we have the logo of the RLB, the Reichsluftschutzbund, and in English meaning the Reich Air Protection League. And below we have the district this sign belonged to, Landesgruppe Baden-Rheinpfalz. The RLB was divided into 15 Landesgruppen, covering all of Germany, and the organization was founded in April 1933, just a couple of months after Hitler came to power, an organization staffed by tens of thousands of volunteers. The RLB came under the aegis, initially the Air Ministry, and was separate from the Luftwaffe until 1940. So like the British Air Raid Precautions, the ARP, the RLB provided local air raid protection and was based on a system of wardens and fire guards, air raid shelters and so on. Each block of houses in a town or city was looked after by a block warden, Blockführer, with his or her assistants, all under a central civil defense local headquarters. In 1934, Landesgruppe Baden-Rheinpfalz was on the border of the demilitarized Rhineland and French Alsace, and obviously some kind of regional drive was made to declutter or clear out houses, to reduce fire hazards in the event of air attack and increase air raid safety awareness among local people. Well, think about this for a moment. 1934, and the Germans are already preparing for air raids, therefore they're preparing for war. As I understand it, when a house had decluttered and had been passed by RLB inspectors, the homeowner was issued with this little tin plaque, which they affixed outside of their property to show they were good, obedient Germans and community members. This little tin sign is actually a good example of something we're very familiar with today: virtue signalling. It caused Germans to make a conscious choice. You either cooperate with the government's plans, can actually put up a physical sign of your compliance to the government's wishes, and can then virtue signal to your neighbours that you are a good German, that you agree with government policy. Or, of course, you could refuse to display such a sign. And if you did refuse in 1934, did such people receive a black mark next to their name at the local city hall? This tiny sign is a perfect example of totalitarian creep. How such a government slowly enforces compliance to its will by dressing it up as community-minded behavior and giving citizens also the opportunity to publicly virtue signal to increase their own feelings of esteem. It also allows the authorities to begin to separate the wheat from the chaff between the compliant majority, who often will actively aid the government's nefarious plans, and the recalcitrant minority, who will resist in some way or other the control over most aspects of their lives that they are expected to voluntarily embrace. So there you are, an example of virtue signalling from way back in 1934. I did promise you a look at a couple of RLB items that I own, and here they are. German Air Raid Wardens helmets. This is the most common RLB helmet, nicknamed the Gladiator helmet by collectors due to its resemblance to Roman helmets. This type of cheap-to-manufacture helmet first appeared in 1938, made of either 2 or 3 pieces of mild steel welded together, with a leather liner and the Luftschutz decal on the front. The warden himself was expected to purchase the helmet, normally for the princely sum of 8.5 Reichsmarks. A rarer type is this beaded M40 helmet, based on the standard German Army M35 and M40 helmets, but with a difference. The metal was not as thick as military helmets, and during production a raised bead was impressed around the helmet to show that the helmet was only suitable for civil defense uses and not for frontline combat. Once again, such helmets were purchased by the warden. Many of both types of RLB helmet did actually see combat in the last months of the war, as such headgear was repainted and issued to Volkssturm Home Guard units, who were then in combat against the Red Army and the Western Allies, as Germany couldn't equip every new soldier with a standard steel helmet. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share. Also visit my audiobook channel, War Stories with Mark Felton. You can also help to support both of my channels at PayPal and Patreon. Details in the description box below.